end up being champ by end of the year.
Go ahead, guys. Look at that. Oh my gosh. Don't we look so good? Come on, cat. No championship rounds. I think he gets knocked out.
You know we're talking about Jon Jones here.
Quick.
You good? All right, welcome to Under the Canvas, episode 1. Starting our new podcast here. First episode of the year. We're going to kind of go through our predictions for this year. So I'm Ken. This is my co-host, Nick.
What up, y'all?
We're just going to go over what we think the MMA landscape is this year. We're going to have a lot of interviews with fighters, hopefully coaches, and just give you a different side from under the canvas, a different perspective. So just to go over some of the topics that we're going to go over today. So the first kind of predict what we think is going to happen this year in the UFC. We know Dana has like big plans every year. He usually does has a couple fights every year that we get super excited for. I know he hasn't announced everything that he's going to do this year, only for the first maybe 1 or 2 months. Then we're going to kind of go over the entire landscape of the fighters, go over through all of the weight classes and see who we think is going to be champ by the end of the year, who we're most excited to see fights that we're excited to see, and breakout fighter of the year. So stay tuned. So what's up, Nick?
Not much, brother. And so I'm reeling off this Benito album that just dropped. Greatest Puerto Rican album ever. But yes.
Just chilling. I know you had a hard week. How was your holidays?
It was good though. Holidays was good. Just spent it with the fam. Didn't do nothing crazy. I'm 30 now, so we dialed back.
I know exactly how you feel. I turned 30 in August, so it's been downhill ever since. You gotta chill out a little bit. So
for real.
But my holiday was pretty good. Spent it with the fam, so excited to get onto the UFC though. I feel like we've been on a drought for the past month. I know December's always tough.
Long wait.
For sure. All right, so just to get started, so just give me your top predictions for the year. What do you think is going to happen? Any top takes that you have for the upcoming year?
Top takes for the upcoming year. I think we see a bunch of title changes very soon. I think in a couple of weeks we see a new bantamweight champ. I think we see a new women's strawweight champ. I see a lot of, we think we see a new undisputed heavyweight champ by the end of the year. So it's going to be, I think it's going to be a year of title changes for sure.
Oh yeah, you think everyone's going to be switching around?
Everyone's going to. I think there's going to be a lot of belt switching this year. A lot. Middleweight, I see it. I see a bunch of different title changes this year for sure.
So last year we were kind of hung up all year waiting for Conor.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think? You think he's going to actually come back and fight this year? Are you even excited to watch that?
I mean, I'll be excited anytime I could get him in. It's just getting him in. That's the thing. I won't believe it till I see it, until like we're a week before, and then it'll feel a little bit more real. He's got to stay off that coke for a little bit, but, as long as he does that, like I said, do I think it will happen? I think it's 50-50 at this point. I think there's a lot of, like I said, a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff. I mean, physical ability's there. The want is there. The fans want it. Everybody, I feel like, wants it. It's just, he's got to work out those personal demons of his. But I'm always open for Conor McGregor, for sure.
Right. I think that's my prediction for the year, actually. I think he's going to retire. And you know the saying, it's hard to wake up at 5 a.m. in silk sheets.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't have that motivation anymore. And I think... Well, it's rumored that Jon Jones is getting $30 million per fight, or he wants $30 million per fight to fight Aspinall. I don't think that, while Conor is the biggest pull in the UFC, it's hard to justify that coming off a damn near 3-year layoff, off a broken leg. Even if he comes back, he'll be the Mike monster that he is. He's going to give us quotes, going to go crazy. I just don't think he's going to be the fighter he was before. So I'm just not gonna hold myself to it. I'm not gonna stay up every night hoping that they announce that Conor fight, because I remember when they announced the Michael Chandler fight, because I wanted to see your boy laid out. How, and they kept pushing back that fight. I'm not gonna lose sleep over that fight. I think he retires this year, especially after the announcement of that bogus Logan Paul fight. 200 million each.
That's that. I mean, would you not fight for 200 million?
I would. But that's exactly what I'm saying. I think he's starting to lean towards the gimmicks a little bit.
Hmm.
It's a little he's not who he was before, is what I'm saying. So I'm not holding out for that Conor.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's my first prediction of the year. I don't second. If we keep going, I don't think Jon Jones retires.
That's interesting.
I think and we'll get to the Tom Aspinall predictions because I know you think we'll save that for a little later. We're gonna talk
Yeah.
about that. But I think he's looking past Aspinall a little bit, and he's looking at that monster at a light heavyweight there, and Alex. I
Hmm.
think that's the real challenge that he really wants. So I think he's gonna try to hold off, or he's gonna fight Aspinall. Hopefully, get through him, and he's gonna see if he can knock off Alex.
Okay. Okay. I don't see it, but I hope it happens.
You know what? You know what? Just let it go. Let it go. So
I'll
what do
let
you
it
think?
fly. I'll let it fly. I'll let it fly.
No. So what do you think? You think he's gonna? So
I think this is the
obviously
last
one
year
of the
he
most
fights. I think this is the last year he fights. I think if he gets fucking slept and finished, I think he's not going to fight again. So,
Mhm.
which is that's the thing. I don't think the UFC wants him to fight Alex either. I don't think they have any interest in that fight. I think that's more of a fan
Really?
fight. Yeah, I think that's protection for Alex because we know how that fight goes. So it's just gonna like why put him against someone where like he's just gonna wrestle and dominate the guy that right now is your Iron Man that everyone thinks is invincible, that he can't be touched. You know,
Right. Right.
it doesn't make any sense.
See, I think Dana's grand plan is have Jon Jones versus Tom Aspinall International Fight Week. I think he's hoping that Jon Jones gets out of that fight. And I think biggest fight of the year, biggest card of the year, other than International Fight Week in Vegas, is usually that MSG card in November. And I think he's going to try to set that up, barring any injuries, barring I don't see Alex getting knocked out. I don't think he doesn't even take damage in any of his fights really. So I think that's his grand plan. I think that's his big fight. I know he mentioned in a press conference right before the
What
last
was
card or the Kobe card, he said that he had
who
something
said
that came
that?
across his desk that he didn't even
Oh yeah,
think
yeah, yeah,
about
yeah, yeah,
is
yeah.
next year. All right. So moving on, what are the fights that you're most excited to see? I know we already talked about the Tom fight. Actually, give us your thoughts on that. Who do you think wins that
Okay,
fight and how do they win
okay.
that fight?
Tom Aspinall by finish by knockout,
No championship
but
rounds?
that's what. No championship
Ooh.
rounds. I think he gets knocked out quick,
Jesus. You know
quick.
we're talking about Jon Jones here.
I know we are talking about Jon Jones. I think Jon Jones just doesn't have that speed at heavyweight to fight a guy like Tom Aspinall. So
It's interesting you say that because when Jon Jones first got into the heavyweight, I remember looking at him and I was like, he looks a little flabby. He looks a little out of shape. He just looks like he put on 30, 45
yeah,
pounds. But now that when you look at him again versus the Stipe fight, he definitely looked a little more cut. He looked like he's carrying the weight a little better. And you also saw it
yeah,
in the speed. And it's hard to tell if it was just his opponent, if Stipe was just over the hill, or if
yeah.
and we didn't even really see him strike with Cyril at all. He just took him down and submitted him basically.
Correct,
So
correct,
it's hard to tell if it's just Stipe being old or if he actually just he's carrying the weight better. I think he's going to continue that
correct.
trend. I think we're going to see kind of a slimmer heavyweight version of Jon Jones. Maybe he's going to stick to that two
But
thirty five.
that's I just feel like that's dangerous for him to do because that's Tom's natural
Right.
weight. So if Tom goes in there and he got 100 pounds on him after he puts his water weight back up, it's just like good luck,
Hmm.
Like it's just that if because he can
It's
grapple
too
too,
much girth.
so it's just like yeah, that's what I say. Like he
Pause.
can grapple too, so it's just like pause. No kidding. I mean, if he walks in there and he has 80 to 100 pounds on Jon Jones, it's going to be tough. That's his natural weight. He walks around at that weight, so
Mhm.
that's the only part. Like when Izzy moved up against
Right.
Blachowicz, and and Izzy kept his natural weight. Blachowicz just laid on top of
Mhm.
him. and beat him because he literally couldn't move. It's just the guy's heavier than you. It's like, what are you
Right.
gonna do? It's like it's not much you can. It's like big brother, little brother type
But
thing.
the difference between that's a good example, but I think Izzy isn't well versed on the ground game, so I think Jan took him down easy, kept him down, and he couldn't really get up
Yeah,
because he doesn't. I'm not saying he doesn't know how. He's just not at
yeah,
that level. But I don't
yeah,
see Tom Aspinall taking down someone like Jon Jones at his caliber of wrestling and grappling. And obviously, Aspinall's a black belt, has all the
yeah,
pedigree in terms of jujitsu. But I just don't
yeah.
see Jon Jones being taken down and staying down there, no matter the size.
Fair. Like I said, I just think he's at this point in their careers, he's just a bigger, stronger, faster version of heavyweight.
Hmm.
5 years ago, I would have had a different take. This now it's just he's killed everybody that's been across from him. It hasn't even been close fights.
Right.
So.
Now we talked earlier about Connor and how he has no motivation. Obviously, he can't
Mm-hmm.
get up at 5 a.m. when you getting up on from silk sheets. Why do you
Mm-hmm.
think Jon Jones doesn't have? We were not really seeing that from Jon Jones. He's able to kind of take these long layoffs and fights and still come back and dominate. What do you think the difference is? You think it's just money? He's just
It's
yeah.
money. It's money. That's the only reason he's fighting Aspinall. It's
Hmm.
money. That's all he's looking at. He's already done all that you can do. And he's done coke just like Connor does. But it's just but
He
it's
just
just
does it better.
the problem is that Connor's involved in way too many things. Connor's the bigger star. So Connor's on your red carpets. He's at all your clubs and your parties and all this stuff. Jon Jones's biggest issue has always been Jon Jones, where it's domestic, stuff. It's you know what I'm saying, like it's alcohol abuse, and then going out in public and doing something dumb. Like with Connor's just his hands are in so many cookie jars where it's tough for him. Like he's a movie star. He's you know what I'm saying. He's in music videos. He owns a publishing company. He has a restaurant. So it's just like he owns BK now. So it's just like for him, it's easier for him to get into trouble and to find other ways to to lose motivation because he has so many other things. For Jon, it's just fighting. It's always been just fighting and then his own personal demons. But he doesn't do anything else. You don't see Jon Jones in any other. He has no businesses, nothing. So I think that's the
Yeah, it'll
difference.
be interesting to talk to Jon Jones about that. I feel like I don't know if he deals with it better. I wouldn't say better is the correct word, but he probably deals with it in a different way where it doesn't
Yeah,
affect his fighting. Or obviously, I mean, like you said, they're different calibers of superstars. And this is
correct.
kind of off topic, but do you think Izzy's going through that a little bit? Izzy's nowhere near the stardom of Connor, but you can start to see that it's probably starting to get hard for him to find that motivation, especially after.
Well, once you lose a couple, it's tough because then you start doubting yourself. I think Izzy has a lot of doubt now, where before he had a invincible mindset, like I'm the king,
Mhm.
like no one can touch me, no one's close. And now ever since that Alex fight, I just feel like he knows, like, oh my gosh, like I'm not bulletproof anymore. So
Yeah,
Sean went in there as a plus 500 and put him on his ass as a plus 500 dog. Drekus went in there and knocked him out. So it's just like, oh shit, like I'm not invincible anymore, you know?
interesting, interesting. All right, so following up, for not one fight I'm excited for, and this isn't booked, but this is a fight that I want to see. It's probably Sean O'Malley and Corey Sandhagen. Um,
Okay.
we know we have the title fight with Umar and Marab.
Yep.
I think Marab wins that fight. It's gonna be
Yeah.
close. It's gonna be close for sure. I still,
Marabe winning
I
that fight.
think you don't think he's winning that fight. Tell me more.
Zero chance.
That camp's too strong, huh?
I I think he gets
Wow.
dominated from the get go. I think he's gonna learn the difference between, like, this is not a guy you could go and hug for 5 rounds. This guy fucking trains with Islam and Habib for hours and hours and hours and hours on day. Like there is going to be no hugging. Like Marab, it's easy for Marab against a Peter Yan, against a Sean O'Malley, against these guys to just hug and hug and hug. Like you can get away with it with that, but he's never fought someone on the other side of him that can go. You know what I'm saying? Like Cejudo, like stuff like that. Like you're gonna have to. If he were to go in there and implement the strategy that he's done his entire career, it's just not gonna work. It just won't work. So hopefully he comes in with something different. But I've never seen anything else from him besides hugging, throwing strikes, hugging some more. That won't work here.
Mhm.
It's not going to work here. So this guy trains for hours on day grappling with the best grapplers in the world. So it's going to be
I don't
tough.
know. I see it the other way. I think it's going to be a close fight. I don't think it's going to be an exciting fight. Um,
No, I don't think it's
I think they're
exciting
just going to
either.
continue to take each other down. I or they might cancel each other out. They're both heavy
Yeah,
wrestlers, and it might turn into a striking match where both of them aren't great strikers anyways. So it might turn into a lot of back and forth, jab jab, cross cross. It might turn into that
it could
where
be
it's
that.
like a point fight at that point. Um,
I could see it.
Regardless of that, though, going back to that fight that I'm most excited for, the O'Malley and Corey Sandhagen fight. Hopefully, they announce it. I'm not saying they
Yeah,
announced it. It's just something I want to see. I think that's the clear number one contender fight.
yeah.
Eh,
I see. I don't. I think Sean comes back and fights for a belt though.
Interesting. You would want to see O'Malley
I
and
don't.
Marab
I
again?
would love. I would love. I would see. I would love to see O'Malley fight Sandhagen. I just think that the UFC, like, that's their Conor right now. So I feel like it's just like, as soon as he's healthy enough, I think they just throw him right back into the fold type
Hmm.
thing.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't know. It's
Mm-hmm.
hard because I feel like Corey's been on kind of such a tear. I know he had that injury and he had a couple performances where they're
Mm-hmm.
lackluster. He did have a loss there to Umar actually.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe he needs another one more fight before he gets to that Sean O'Malley level. It's just hard for me to
Yeah.
see. It's just hard for me to see O'Malley winning it, either against Umar or against Morab again. It's just
Yeah.
I think the disparity in wrestling is just too much, and it's hard.
Yeah.
And while I get it, he's a great he's the arguably the best striker in the UFC.
Mm-hmm.
It's just hard for me to see him overcoming just the difference in wrestling pedigree on both sides there.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
and then moving on, I think Sean and DDP. We spoke to his coach. Yeah, and you guys will get a sneak peek
Yeah.
about that. We won't get too much into what he said, but we're definitely interested to see if he's going to implement like not the strategy. I wouldn't say strategy, but the mindset that Eric Nixick was talking about in our interview with him.
I'll take Sean.
You'll take Sean.
I'll stay with
You're
Sean.
confident.
I can't go against my team XC family right there. So I'll never go. Shout out you, Eric. I'll never go against my guys.
I
So
think so too.
I'll stay with
I think
Sean.
so too.
I'll
Honestly,
stay with my
I
people.
think it'll be a close fight though. Again, I just think
Oh, it's gonna be super close.
I definitely think that Sean's going to be a little bit more active. If we look at the first fight,
Hmm.
you saw him start to pick it up a little, try to pick it up after the third, fourth round, and then they both just
Yeah,
got gassed out. I think they're going to be a little bit more strategic about picking their points or picking their spots where to hit each other and just being more strategic about the entire fight. But I think it's going to be an exciting fight, but I think it's going to go all 5 rounds. It's going to be a good decision.
yeah.
All right. So moving on, let's just go over all the weight classes here and see what we think is going to happen the next year in the UFC. Cut this out.
Bum, bum, ba-dum, ba-dum, bum,
All
bum,
right.
bum.
So we got
What you got?
flyweight here.
Break out my 2 liter of Coke.
We got flyweight Alexander Pantoja, the champion right now. Number one contender Brandon Royval. Number two Brandon
Hmm.
Moreno, and number three Amir Albazi. What are you thinking, Nick? Give me your thoughts.
Tatsuro Taira, champion by end of the
Again,
year.
you think he's going to get another shot?
Yes, I think we just got to work on some cardio problems, but I think matchup wise, it's the only person that could give Pantoja a run. He's already ran through this division. He's already beat Royval. He's beat Moreno. You know what I'm saying? Like, we've seen Kai up there for a while now. I think he's the only guy. Kape interests me a little bit after watching that
Yes.
last
Yep.
fight. He shocked the hell out of me with his last fight. So I'm excited to see. I think he's fighting Brandon Royval, isn't he? Right? I think they just announced him versus Brandon Royval. I think they just announced that fight.
Yes.
Um,
But his last one
so
was impressive against Silva for
Oh,
sure.
Silva, it was really
Hmm.
impressive. He dominated
Dominated.
from the get go, and he showboated the
Yep.
whole time. Um, but yeah, I think they just announced him and Royval for number one contender. So I mean, if he were to get through Brandon Royval, I mean that's obviously people need a fresh face. I think Tatsuro can go and fight a guy like Amir Albazi next would be great, or you put him against Moreno coming off a win would be great. Um, and then if he wins that, then we could see him in there. But yeah, I think those two guys would be the guys for me that to watch out for to dethrone this dude. But yeah,
Mm. Yeah, I'm looking at Armia Arbazi. I feel like everyone we're kind of skipping over him. He's on a tear right now. He's a great. Obviously, look, he lost his last fight to Brandon Moreno. That's the only one that I'm looking at here. But other than that,
he lost
yeah,
bad
he
though.
did,
He
he
lost
did, he did,
bad.
he did. So maybe he needs one more.
It,
Maybe with
click on that fight. Click on that fight.
uh,
They'll bring the things
yeah,
up. Is there
yeah.
go? Let's see. Go back right, and then no, where you were.
There we go.
Yeah, yep. There we go. Boom. Look, like this was it was full fight, significant strikes, 132
Yeah, just
63.
outgassed them.
I mean, total strikes. I mean, this dude landed 27% of his
Yeah,
strikes. He was significant strikes, almost doubled. Yeah, he did double, not almost. He did
right.
double it. It was a beat down.
Yeah,
He needs a bounce back. They need to give him a good bounce back. I agree, though. I think he's underrated. But he just needs a good bounce back
I
performance.
think him versus Tatsuro makes the most sense then. Yeah.
I'm down. I'm down.
Let's get that. Kai Car France. I think if he loses one more time, it's going to be tough for to anyone to justify him getting a title fight. I'm not. Did they
Yeah.
announce anyone for him coming up? I thought.
No, I think he's coming off of what? Kai's coming off a knockout though, right? He knocked out somebody a good fighter in his
No, he
last fight.
lost. He
Yeah, he knocked out
Yes. Yep.
Earthseg. Yeah. So that I mean that's what I'm saying. Yeah,
He
so
came off that.
that was a
Yeah.
huge
Yeah. Yeah.
huge win. And you could have argued that Albazi fight. I watched that fight. I thought he won that one. So I mean the Urseg knockout though, Urseg was a round away from being the champ. He just fucked it up at
Right.
the end. He was beaten on Pantoja. So that's what I'm saying. So you can I mean it's anybody's that division's wide
Right.
open.
Right. Right.
So
But anyways, if you give your prediction for the year, you think Pantoja is just too well rounded, too much of a good wrestler, too much of a good striker to
yes.
even lose that belt this year.
Yes. I think so. I mean I think he loses it by the end of the
To
year.
who? To Tatsuro? Okay.
I think it's either Tatsuro or I'll stick with Cop too. If Cop can keep going on what I just saw him do, it'll be
Right. Right.
fine.
All right. No, yeah, I think I just it's hard for me to see Alexander losing right now. I feel like after his last performance against Kai Sakura, it was just I know it was his first fight, and we've never really seen that a fighter coming from
Yeah.
another promotion and just going straight to the to the to the title shot. But Kai was super experienced, had many title shots over there in Japan. I just think he dominated him. So it's hard for me to see him. I think he's just too well rounded in that division. Only person I can see
Yeah.
maybe giving him some trouble is Manel. I think, like you said before, that last performance, if he can just continue to replicate that, he looks unbeatable at that point because he was in a
Yeah.
flow state for sure.
I
All
agree.
right, and I know we already kind of talked about this and we touched on it a little bit, but the bantamweight division, we got Murav Davashvili, Sean O'Malley, Umar Nurmagomedov, and Peter Yan. And don't forget my man
Hmm.
Corey Sandhagen at 4.
Fuck Corey Sandhagen.
So what are you thinking? You think Murav, or you think it's just going to be Umar the entire year?
Omar is going to win the belt and hold on to it for a long time.
You think it's going to be a repeat of
Uh,
Islam?
yeah, and once these guys, I'm telling you, you can't let these guys get the belts, man. Because once they do, they don't let them
Yeah.
go. They don't let them go. They're tough to beat. He's only gonna get better. He's a baby,
Mhm.
and he has a great camp. He just has such a good camp.
Yeah. It's like I said, I think that's a 50-50 fight. If Marab wins, he's gonna get the rematch with O'Malley. I think he wins that again, and then I'm hoping Corey can get in that action. I think he has the well-rounded game where he can go on. He's underrated. He has his striking and he can hold his own at the bottom there. I know he lost to Umar, I know he lost to already his last fight, but I think it's going to be close. Um, the thing with Peter Yan, though, what do you think about him? Kind of underrated. Was on a couple.
He's always underrated. Peter Yan should be the champion right now, low key. But if things just didn't go his
Yeah,
way, but that performance against Figgy was a good one. Beating Song is tough. I mean, like I said, he'll be fine.
yeah,
He'll be
yeah. That
fine.
song, that song, fight was he beat him up there. That was a good fight.
He did.
So, what do you think about the new fight that was announced in the bantamweight with Henry Cejudo versus Song Yadong?
I think Cejudo should have retired 3 fights ago. I think Song's got that
Yeah,
one.
yeah.
They announced Rob Font though. Rob Font is fighting. Oh
Don't
my
tell me it's
gosh, who
Mario
did they announce?
Batista.
No. He's got a good fight. Oh my gosh, who are you fighting, Rob Font? They just announced it. Oh
Jose
my gosh,
Aldo,
we're gonna have
not
to look
Jose
this
Aldo,
up.
right?
No. They just announced this. One
Cheeto
second.
Vera.
Rob Font is fighting. He posted it on his Instagram, guys. Give me a second. He is fighting Dominic Cruz.
There we go. That's the Seattle card, right? It's the same
Yes,
card
he's
as the
fighting
Song Yadong.
Dominic Cruz. Yes.
I think that's the retirement fight for Dominic Cruz right there.
Rob Font, with the coaching change in his last fight, looked like a completely
He
different
did,
fight.
yeah.
He did. So, and he's the only Puerto Rican we freaking have. So we need him to do well.
Yeah. Do you think he retires? Not Rob Font.
Oh,
Yeah,
Dominic
Dominic.
and
Cejudo have to retire.
all these, yeah, get out of here. Get out. Leave. It's over for them.
It's tough to kind of figure out or try to get in their mindset of what they're thinking, especially Dominic. Like, what do you think he's chasing? You think he's just chasing his next fight? Because
I mean, these guys still believe they're contenders in the bottoms of their heart, but it's just
tough,
like,
right?
it's like, no,
Yeah.
you're not a contender no more.
Especially after that last knockout that Dominic had. Well, that he was knocked out. It's tough to come back.
Exactly.
All right, moving on here to the featherweight division. We got the champ Iria El Matador Topuria, arguably fighter of the year in some people's eyes. Alex the Great Volkanovski and Max Holloway. And number 3, Diego Lopez. What do you think happens in this division if Ilya stays at featherweight there?
Taporia's a bitch, but he should be able to hold on to it though. Should be able to hold on to it. I think, like I said, the problem. There's a lot of guys though. Diego Lopez is a guy to watch out for. Um, that Mosvar is a guy to watch out for just the wrestling purposes. But fucking Volk, dude, don't count out Volk just yet. People need to stop. Volk is chinny now at his old age, but people forget that on the judges' scorecards, he took the first 2 rounds from Ilya on the scorecards, then he just got caught. Max had taken 3 rounds from Ilya, and then he got caught. So it's just like if these guys find a way not to get caught, they'll be fine. But I never count out Volk against anybody. He has too much heart.
No.
So he's the GOAT of that division. So I mean, I would look to see what he's doing this year. I know he said he has something already signed. He hasn't announced yet. I'd love to see him fight Diego Lopez. I think that would make me go through the fucking moon if I
For
saw
an
that
interim
one.
title, you think?
I mean, no, not interim, because this motherfucker needs to stay in his fucking weight class. I don't think the UFC needs to stay down there.
I'm saying you want Alexander to fight Topuria is what you're saying.
Yeah, Alexander just shouldn't fight for a belt right now.
Okay.
Alexander needs to earn it again. So I think him and Diego would be so much fun. Him and Mosvar would be so much fun. I think Max leaves that division
Clearly, yeah. Especially after that last loss.
So like I said, that all that stuff is fun. Leron Murphy,
you got to watch out for that.
To watch out for if you're looking for a sleeper. Like if you're looking for a sleeper pick, Leron's a good guy. I think he's undefeated. If I'm
he is. Yep.
If I'm correct. Yeah, but
it's just his last performance. It wasn't great. He was. Who did he fight last? Yeah, he fought Ige. He won, but it didn't look great.
He got knocked down in the first round, but he came back pretty well. That fight was a banger.
It was a banger, but he didn't. I can't remember if he was -1. No, I think he was -200 in that fight. But yeah, the entire fight he was
Hey, but I won't knock him for getting knocked down by Ige though. Ige is just a
monster,
that Ige is
monster,
a
monster
dog.
for sure. And again, we have more info. We talked to Eric about him, and but
Yeah, we
that'll
did.
come a little bit later. Just a little sneak peek there. But I think every year we have someone in the standings there that that's either ranked 12, 11, 10 ish that usually shoots up
Yep.
throughout the year. So I think Leon Murphy there, Leroy Murphy, excuse me. I think he just has to get a fight there in the top 10, maybe like a Josh Emmett. That would be a good fight for him. Or even Arnold Allen, something like that, kind of try to get into that top 10, top 7 ish, and hopefully
Yep.
prepare him to try. Because all you have to do is get that one fight between 6 and 10, and then you can hopefully break that top 5 with just one fight. So hopefully he
Correct.
stays injury free. But I don't know. It sounded like Topuria going back to the champ. It sounded like he was pretty sure that he was moving up there to lightweight. But if he stays,
He doesn't get to make the choice, Ken. Not his
you
choice.
think the Papa Dana's gonna
Dana's
make him
gonna put
stay?
a Dana's gonna put a stop to that. It's like,
Yeah,
no, dude, no.
yeah. It's tough too because it seemed like he's a good cash cow at that weight division. He has enough following. That Spain card will be huge. Um,
Well, like, what good does it do him if he goes up and then gets dominated by Makachev, and then you know what I'm saying? Then you lose your undefeated record. Your whole persona goes out the window. It just doesn't make any
mhm.
sense.
He did mention though he walks around at 190. So,
Uh,
but Makachev.
I walk around at 215. But that doesn't mean that I shouldn't be a light heavyweight. That's not the way it
Right,
works.
right. But yeah, so I think Topuria retains his belt there. Diego Lopez, obviously sleeper. He is a little chinny though, so if he always gets cracked here and there, if Topuria touches that chin,
Yeah.
it'll be hard for me to justify him winning the belt. All right,
Yep.
so moving on to lightweight, we got Islam Makachev, the champion, number one contender fight. Well, number one contender fighting for the belt here in January in 2 weeks. Armin Sarukian, Charles Oliveira, and Justin Gaethje rounding out the top three. What are you thinking?
Mm.
Obviously, you said before you don't think he's going to lose, but give us your thoughts.
Islam's the best fighter in the world
Yeah,
right
pound
now.
for pound.
So it's tough. Like I said this to you, but I think Patty Pimblett is a person to watch out for. I think stylistically that is a very good fight because he Scousers don't get
They don't
knocked
get
out,
knocked out.
and he fucking can grapple with the best of them. So, um, I think that stylistically that matchup interests me a lot. It really does. He signed on to fight Ken's favorite fighter, Michael
Oh,
Chandler, and we get to see what happens there. I
he's
think if he
joking,
beats Michael
guys.
Chandler, no, I'm serious. I think Patty has a two fight. He needs to probably is going to take two fights for him to get there. He beats Michael, and then you probably give him like a guy like Justin Gaethje or a guy like Arman Sarukian when he gets his ass kicked next week, or so hopefully not my boy Charles. Charles gets the next title shot. I
That's
love Charles,
guaranteed already,
but
right?
yeah,
Dana mentioned that.
yeah, that's already
Okay.
guaranteed. Guaranteed. Taporia tried to take it away, but fuck Taporia, it's not going to work. Um, but yes, I think Patty Pimblett stylistically is the most intriguing matchup for Makhachev.
Mhm. Yeah, I think. Yeah, I think Patty, like again, I mentioned before, there's always someone in that top 11, 12, 13 that kind of shoots up. And I think he's primed to do that, especially if he stays healthy. If he gets 3 fights in this year, I think he's going to crack the top 5. He's just seen so much improvement, especially when he fought, can't remember who he fought. I always forget his name. Here we go. Yeah, Bobby Green. That was an impressive fight, especially him being primarily known as a grappler, knocking out, well, not
Yep.
knocking out, but submitting Green like that and just dominating. And then obviously the unanimous decision versus Ferguson. Some people were disappointed in that one, but I think he's kind of gaining ground and he's getting better. Yeah, like I said, I think Islam continues to be champion throughout the year. It's hard for me to see him losing. I don't see anyone really in the
Yeah.
top 5 that can really hang with him.
Yeah,
Max Holloway's an interesting one though. It,
I think Max Holloway. Yeah, it depends on who they give him. I mean, the Gaethje rematch is
mm,
there. Maybe he's Poirier's last fight, his retirement fight. Maybe that's who it is. So it'll be interesting to see what's next. I'll never count out Max though.
yeah. So you think if Max's path to the belt, you think he uh, not either knocks out or wins in devastating fashion against Poirier, gets one more fight in the top three, and you think he's set for a title fight against Islam?
Yeah, for
Hmm.
sure, for sure.
He does look a lot better
Gaethje
too
has
at that
to.
weight, Max.
Yeah, Gaethje should. Gaethje's got to earn it back after the last performance. He can't be in there for a
Yeah,
little bit.
yeah,
So
for sure. All right, moving on here to welterweight. Your favorite, Bilal Muhammad.
it's the worst champion this company's got by far. It's the worst champion this company
Number one
has.
contender, Leon Edwards. Number two, Shavkat Rakhmonov. And number three, Kamaru, the Nigerian Nightmare Usman. So what are you thinking?
I think Shavkat will be champ. I think JDM can be champ. I think Gary can be champ. Um,
It's rumored
this
that
this
JDM
divi-
is looking they're looking to book JDM and Leon Edwards in March.
they should, and I'll bet JDM with my mortgage payment. It's just that division's tough. Bilal, I don't see Bilal holding on to that belt for the rest of the year. There's too many guys. Even if we were to get past Shavkat by some stroke of Shavkat's nuts falling off before the fight or something, it's just there's no way. There's too many guys in there, too many dogs. I think Gary proved a lot in his last fight. He didn't get taken down either. So it's just like I feel like he's gonna have to go through death row this year
Right.
if he wants to hold on to that thing. And I think the company doesn't want him to be champion either. So they're gonna throw these guys at
Hmm.
him, and he's gonna have to be ready to go. Hopefully his toe is okay.
I don't know. I feel like everyone's counting out Bilal, and I think while Shavkat didn't look, he looked pedestrian against Eon. But I mean, it wasn't said by him that he was coming off an injury. So
Blau sucks. He sucks. He's so
I don't
bad.
think so. I just don't think he has.
He
I don't think
sucks.
he just doesn't knock people out, and I think that's the gripe that people have about him. But yeah,
His the way he won the
yeah,
belt, it was just fucking terrible. It was just absolutely
right,
awful. It was just
right.
terrible. And he got taken down 3 times by a guy that doesn't take down.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like yeah, but either way, I think Shavkat kind of takes the belt there. Whether they get a rematch with Bilal, I don't know if that's going to happen. I don't know if the fight's going to be an exciting fight. It may just be a Shavkat knockout. But either way, I
Yeah,
think Shavkat gets the belt by the end of the year. Another person in the division, though, what do you think of Kamaru there? What do you think he wants to do? You
Kamaru's
think he's
done.
done?
Kamaru's done. I'm throwing him into the Cejudo Dominic Cruz into that
Wow.
group of guys that are done by the end of
Wow,
the
you don't think
year.
that's a little premature?
No, I think he could still win. I think there's a bunch of fights he could win. I just don't think he can ever compete for a belt
Hmm.
again.
Hmm. I don't know. I feel like he's being strategic about who he fights. If we look at his last three fights here, they've all been kind of short notice. He fought Chimaev, obviously, at a catch weight. Um, basically 2 weeks notice. Leon Edwards, the second Leon Edwards fight, he definitely came back way too fast after that head kick knockout. But even before the first fight, when he was fighting Edwards, he was dominating that fight. He just got caught. So I don't know if he's over the hill just yet. I just feel like he's being a little strategic about who he's going to fight. Hopefully, maybe that's Sean Brady and Kamaru. Now that JDM is looking to fight Edwards there,
He needs to go fight Buckley. Buckley
Buckley
called him
too.
out. Answer your call
Buckley
out.
too.
Answer the call out.
Yeah. What do you think about Ian Gary? You think he's gonna? Where? What do you think he goes?
Inger is good.
Hmm.
He's good. He's a cuck, but man, he's good. He's a good fighter. Um,
I don't.
I think, like I said, the takedown defense was much improved in that last fight. I think he needs to get way more active. I think he's more gifted with than we see with his striking. Um, and he could have won last fight had he let it go. But he's good, man. If he continues to work with this shoot box camp, continues to do what he needs to do, I think he's going to be fine.
Right. Right. And I don't know. I don't know why Colby Covington is still ranked at in the top 10 here. If you look at his last three fights, it's hard for me. The only he's beat Masvidal. I mean, he's only beating Woodley, really. It's just hard for me to justify him being in the top 10 there, but I'm not sure what the UFC is planning for him. If he's looking to move up, I heard he's thinking about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, so it's tough. So moving on here, middleweight, Dricus Duplessis, DDP. Obviously fighting Sean Strickland here in February. Number 2 contender Izzy already has a fight with Imanov. Number 3 Chimaev and number 4 Robert Whitaker. What are you thinking?
This is Hamzat's division to lose. I think he's up. He's the next guy after Strickland and Duplessis. I think Strickland takes it, but I think no matter who wins that fight, they're in trouble. So
Mhm.
it's gonna take someone special to knock down to beat Hamzat.
You
But
think if it's a close fight,
it's
they do a trilogy there, or you think they just move on to Chimaev and just
no.
try to
I
get
think
him
the
in there?
first fight. I think the first fight, if it goes 5, and I think this one's gonna go 5 again, it's like if you're not getting any finishes, or if there's no like, you know what I'm saying, robbery or something, like that should be the end of it. I don't really that one I don't really care to see 3 times. There's not really a true rivalry
Mm.
there, so I rather stop. Let's stop delaying it. Hamzat's he's done what he needs to do. Just let him go in there and let's see what he can do.
Right. Yeah, it's like I said. I think Sean will probably take it in a close fight there. I think it's going to be exciting. And then Chimaev comes in and takes it from him. It's tough. I just think he's just levels ahead above everyone in the wrestling department. He's
Yeah,
just too much right now. The interesting fight though, that Izzy and Imanov fight. If Izzy pulls that fight off, you think he gets that title shot again against Chimaev?
he
Mm,
could. He could. Like I said, all the key to being Chimaev is getting it out of the first round. That's the thing. But a lot of these guys can't get it off the first
right.
round. So it's just
He
too
just
much.
shoots
But
out.
yeah,
You just got to get him. Yeah, you just got to get him into that third, fourth, fifth
because his
round.
cardio is
Yeah,
trash. You just got to get it there. But the thing is, it's easier said than done.
yeah.
He's just an animal.
Yeah. So who do
So
you think in this division we got to look out for other than Shara
I
Bullet?
not Brendan Allen. I think Brendan Allen. I think Brendan Allen's the worst fighter on this whole list. But as we're continuing, Fluffy. I would say watch out for Fluffy. Fluffy's got a fight coming up against. I think who's isn't it Brendan Allen? I think
Let's
he's
see.
fighting.
No, he isn't. No,
Who's no? He's
I
got a
just
fight
realized
coming
why
up.
you said Brandon Allen's the first fight.
No, but for real, I think he's got a fight. Let me
I'm
see
not
right
sure if
here.
they announced that one yet, but
Tapology. Anthony Hernandez is fighting Brendan Allen on February 22nd. That is a confirmed
all
announced
right, we'll
fight.
stay on the lookout.
So, yeah, no need. He's going to fucking finish that bum. Fluffy's tough, dude. He's tough. Like, that's the guy that I know a lot of these guys are going to start avoiding him. Shara Bullet and MVP is going to be fucking awesome.
Yeah, of course.
But yeah,
Literally
it's just
the fans' dream fight right there.
yeah, that's a fun one. I know Shara Bullet and MVP, they're just not capable of being boring. So
What do you think MVP is doing though? I mean, he's been a welterweight his whole life. You think he's going to want to stick at middleweight there, or you think he
I
just
think
wants to
he's gonna be
fight the
like
fight?
he's just like a Kevin. Yeah, he's like a Kevin Holland. He's just gonna
Mm,
fight, dude. He's later in his career. He got here
yeah.
late. I think he's just gonna have fun. He's gonna do all these fun matchups, and he's just gonna fight. He's fighting fun fights. He beat Kevin Holland in his first matchup. Then he goes and fights Ian Gary, lost by a
Hmm.
hair. Like he's just gonna go fight fun guys and fun fights and make tons of money and be entertaining, get on pay-per-views. Like that's what he's gonna
Right.
do. So he's a pay-per-view level fighter that's just fun to watch.
Hmm.
So I think he's just in it for he's just gonna fight.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. Yep. All right. Moving on here to the monster, light heavyweight champion
Yes.
Alex Pereira
Yes.
versus
The grit that guy is never losing his belt. He's never gonna
rounding out the
lose it.
top three. You got Magomed Ankalaev. Number 2, Yuri
Bum.
Prohaskov, and number 3, Jamal Hill.
Bum, bigger bum.
So what do you?
I think I hope Jamal Hill wins. I really do. I really hope Jamal. And I'm a big Yuri Prohaska fan. I hope Jamal Hill wins just so I could see Alex knock him out one more time. Like I like even if he loses, I hope Alex gives him a chance at it. Just it's like he's already knocked out Yuri twice, so I mean I don't care to see that again. Um, Once he gets through Ankalaev, I was like Jamal Hill has just done all this corny ass shit and can't accept the first one. So I want to see it. I want to see it
Yeah,
really
he's been
bad. Carlos Ulberg is the guy to
for
watch out
sure.
for,
Yeah,
though.
he's been polarizing for sure. I think either you hate him or you love him. Um, but regardless, if he wins that fight with Yuri, they got to give him that second chance again at the title. I don't know if Ankalaev is going to get the shot, just because I don't know if the UFC even wants to make that fight. But
I feel like
they
they
have
have
to, though.
to. I
They
feel like
yeah, they have
Alex.
to.
Yeah,
If they're about
yeah,
making the best fight, quote unquote, and not just about theatrics, I think they have to make that. He is the number one contender. He's never lost other than that Blachowicz fight, really.
correct,
So,
correct.
but yeah, I think it's interesting you mentioned Oberg. I think he should fight Khalil Roundtree. And
Dude, I get a name that nobody talks about is Azamat Murzakanov. That dude is really
mhm,
good. The only problem is getting him to fucking fight because he's always hurt all the time.
yeah,
But he finishes dudes,
yeah,
Azamat Murzakanov. So that's what I'm saying. Does he have a L on his record,
he is
or is he
he is
undefeated? No,
14
he's
and 0,
14 and
14
0.
and 0.
Yeah, 10 by knockout, and dude, I think he knocked out Minifield in his last one, or was it
Yep, no,
decision? Yeah, no, he knocked
yep,
him out. That's what I'm saying. So, bro, he's good, dude. He's really Dustin Jacoby, who just knocked out fucking Petrino.
mhm.
So that win aged well. That dude is really good. Like he's really really good. It's just he's not active. We just got
Yeah,
to get
he's
him more
12 right
active.
now. But yeah, like I said, maybe he can shoot up there in the top 10, top 7 ish.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah, like I said, or you said too, I think Alex he's not going to lose that belt this year, so he's gonna
no, no.
continue to dominate heavyweight here. We got Jon Jones, John Bones Jones. We got number 1 Tom Aspinall, the interim title holder currently.
The worst division in the
Yeah,
company. This division
2
sucks.
Cyril Yan, and number 3 Alexander Volkov, which arguably should be ranked number 2 because he probably won that fight against Cyril. So what do you think is going to happen in potentially July? Tom versus Joan.
Tom Aspinall is gonna win the belt. He'll be undisputed heavyweight champion.
You think Jon Jones just retires after that?
Either he retires or he tries to go back to his normal weight class. But yeah, he only fights once a year.
Right.
So if he loses that fight, he's gonna just go disappear for a little
Yeah.
bit.
Yeah, this is a tough division. I feel like everyone is kind of either trending downwards, especially once you start getting in that 8, 9, 10 range. Tai Tuivasa, Derek Lewis, they're all going downhill. There's no one really
Yep,
surging. Maybe we have Almeida. Curtis Blades is not really
he's in the wrong weight
yet.
class. This dude doesn't fight in his own
Yeah,
weight
it's
class.
it's tough. So I think
It's a bad.
I think
Yeah,
if Tom gets the belt, he'll hold on to it for a while, especially if Jon Jones retires. But it's hard for me to pick against Jon Jones until I see it. Until I see
yeah,
it, I can't pick against them. So I'm gonna take Jon in that fight. All right.
yeah.
So moving on here to the girls, we got only 3 divisions. Women's strawweight. This is Zhang Weili is the champion. We got Tatiana Suarez, who she's fighting in February there, and then Zhang. I know
Tati,
that's your camp there, obviously.
that's my baby. That's my baby. She's gonna win this fight. We're gonna see a title change. It's gonna be easy. It won't go 5. I'll tell you
Mhm.
that.
Interesting. I don't know. I feel like Weili is such a great striker, but Suarez is too well rounded. I think she's just gonna take her down and submit her pretty fast.
She just if once that fight goes to the ground, you might as well go ahead and put on the afternoon
Yeah.
news. It's because it's a
Hmm.
wrap, brother. It'll be done real
Hmm.
quick.
And what do you think about that Mackenzie Dern card this weekend? She's fighting. I can't remember who she's fighting here. But she is fighting Rebos. This is Rebos 2. Yeah.
Again, I'll take
Hmm.
Rebus. Mackenzie Dern is overrated. Mackenzie Dern's one of those people that just does that should be doing Brazilian jiu-jitsu competitions. But she's very entertaining. She's fun to look at for sure. That the jiggle in the ring and the stuff. Besides that, like she's not championship quality.
Right, right. All right, moving on here. We got the women's flyweight, Valentina Shevchenko, arguably people's GOAT in the women's division, other than the Lioness. Number 1, Alexa Grasso, and number 2, Mannion Farrat, and 3, Aaron Blanchfield.
Manon, bro. Nobody respects Manon. Manon hasn't lost in the UFC. She's beaten all these people. She beat Blanchfield, who I think is the second best in that division. Like, she hasn't lost in this company yet. And she beat Thug Rose. She's beaten everybody you could possibly beat. And like, I don't know what else she has to do to get a title
Yeah.
shot. But I think she's longer. She's super long, super tall for that division. She's just bigger than all these girls. She's 5'7". I mean, I don't know how tall Valentina is, but
She might be 5'7" too.
Manon is 5'7". Does it say her height?
No, that doesn't say.
Oh, right here. Height 65. I don't know what that is. Can that you tell me how high 65 inches?
That's 5'5".
Yeah, so that's what I say. Like, she's
Yeah,
just tough, bro.
5'7".
Like, look at she's never lost in this company. So it's just like, what else do you want her to? She's taking out all the names. And I know Ken's gonna say Macy, but it's just like Manon is just a tough SOB that deserves a title
No,
fight.
agreed. She should. I don't think anyone wants to see that Alexa. No one's gonna want to see a fourth fight of that.
Alexa and Blanchfield is the logical next fight
Yeah,
to make. That's the only fight that
yeah,
makes sense. And she already called
yeah.
her
So I
out, so
think
might as
for
well
sure, I think
sign it.
1 and 3, and then Alexa and Blanchfield. Then we got Macy and Farrat, and then whoever wins that Macy and Farrat should get the title shot.
But I don't think she should have to do it again. I don't think that's fair. I think Manon should fight her right now. What else?
Yeah, who else is she gonna
To me, it's
fight
like I
right
don't.
now?
Yeah, who else? Who's Valentina supposed to fight? She's beating everyone
Mhm.
in there. Except Manon. Manon's only. I think Macy should fight Natalia. I think that's a great fight. Thug Rose lost, so she can go work her way back. I don't care about Thug Rose
Natalia's
and her
been looking
groomer
great
husband.
too.
Natalia's a great.
Her
That's what I'm saying.
kickboxer
Her
is
and
amazing.
Macy is great
Yeah.
television. Her and Macy would be sick
Mhm.
television. But Manon, I think, has done enough to, and I think she can beat Valentina. I think she really
So you think
can.
she's gonna be
So
champion by end of the year?
yeah, I think it's way overdue. Way
Yeah,
overdue.
I think. Yeah, I think Valentina probably holds on to her title, but I think she's kind of starting to come to that end too, where she has to kind of. I think the division is starting to catch up with her, especially with Silva. We got Barber,
Yeah,
Blanchfield, Farad. They're all starting to come. They're all starting to get to that level. All
yeah,
right,
for
moving
sure.
on to the last weight division here. We got women's bantamweight. Your favorite, Juliana Pena, the people's champ.
That's my baby.
Number 1, Raquel Pennington. Number 2, Kayla Harrison. Number 3, Ketlin Veria.
Uh,
This is obviously your.
I'll stay. No, I'll stay with my baby Ken. I'm staying with Juliana Pena. Right? You could go ahead and pick Kayla
Yeah,
Harrison
I
all
just
you
feel like
want.
she's being served up on a platter to everyone. It's
No, she's no platter, Ken. Don't disrespect the champ.
yeah.
All right.
But she is finding out though that it's gonna be harder than she thought. I mean, honestly, she mentioned she's never bled in the octagon before her last fight versus Ketlin. So I think the obvious fight is gonna be Kaylin versus Harrison. I don't know if Pennington gets that rematch, but that was a close fight too between them. But I think Kayla's probably going to end up being champ by end of the year.
Go ahead, guys. Look at that. Oh my gosh. Don't we look so good? Come on, cat. Jeez. Come on. Come on.
All right. So those are our predictions, guys, for the year. Lastly, we won't take too much of your time here. Just want you to get your quick thoughts on breakout fighter of the year and who you're looking at.
Breakout fighter of the year. I'm gonna stick with my. I got Michael
Ooh,
Morales. I got to watch out for him. I got this is Carlos Prates.
I don't know how much he can't be
Uh,
a breakout. He was a breakout this year, but I'll let you.
I think he'd be breakout by listen, big things. He really didn't fight like I think like big things are on the horizon for Carlos
Yeah,
Prates.
he's definitely going to
But
shoot
yeah,
up.
I'm really big on Michael Morales.
Mhm.
I'm really big on Michael Morales. Um, as far as I'm trying to think of one more. Joe Pfeiffer. Watch out for Joe Pfeiffer this year. I think Joe Pyfer's gonna have a big year this year.
Yeah. Hardest hitting dude in the UFC.
Second hardest hitting man.
There's
Second.
proof. There's proof.
Chama.
No, but for me, it's gonna be Payne Talbot. I think he's just on a tear. He's just different dude. Has that aura about him. I
Yeah.
think he's gonna shoot up. I think he's gonna be the next star in that division. That division needs a star, and he's just gonna take the UFC by storm. Especially if he stays active. He just needs to get 3 good fights in. He's probably gonna get that title shot.
Yeah, for sure.
Right.
I'm a huge Peyton Talbot guy, so you have no argument for me here.
He's insane. All right, so that's gonna wrap up our first episode. Thank you for joining us. We're gonna give you a little sneak peek of what's gonna come in the next year. Here, we're gonna get some good interviews, good fighters, and bring you guys all the info under the canvas. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram, Twitter. We got all the social medias. Like, comment, subscribe, and please leave your feedback in the comments. Hopefully, we're just trying to get better at this. So, thank you guys.
Yes, sir.